Folks, we're international. I'm stuck in Dallas. Kevin Gray and Mark Stein are joining from Vancouver. We're talking all about their travels and Mavs training camp and a whole lot more on today's DLLS Mavs podcast. DLLS Mavs training camp coverage is powered by Nasser Jewelers in Rockwall and Boostier Development. Need something custom or shopping for diamond jewelry? Mention DLLS Mavs to get 20% off custom orders or diamond jewelry plus a free jewelry cleaning at Nasser Jewelers in Rockwall. And thank you to our sponsor, Boostier Development, an ultra-luxury home builder of modern villas inspired by the Mediterranean lifestyle. Visit www.boostierdev.com to get started today. Hello and welcome to the DLLS Mavs podcast. This is an exciting time. Basketball's back. We got tornado sirens sounding outside. Don't worry, it's just the first of the month drill. They do every Wednesday at noon, but that is also hearkening the start of basketball. And there to witness it yesterday, as I, Bobby Corella, was not, and as our producer, Tanner Rotman, was not, but live from Vancouver, the great Kevin Gray, the great Mark Stein. Gentlemen, how the heck are we doing?
It's a wonderful Wednesday, as my daughter told me this morning before she went to school. So we are very happy to be here in a what's a rainy so far, Mark Stein, Vancouver morning so far here.
I want a villa. I want a villa from Boostier Development. Every time we bring up the villas, I want a villa.
You big villa guy?
I wasn't, but we've been doing this read, and now I want one.
Well, now he wants to embrace villa living.
In a little bit, I'll drop a link. I'll drop a website you can go to get set up. But there is a whole lot to talk about today. Of course, if you missed yesterday's episode, Tim Cato is no longer part of the team. We traded him for cash considerations and a draft pick, players to be named later. But he's still with us in spirit on our website. Just dropped an article that you can read on alldls.com if you're a diehard, providing national coverage for the entire All-City network. For the time being, it's just the boys.
How many seconds did we have to attach to that contract to move that?
More than the Mavs would for Hardy. That's all I can say. I cannot divulge that info though. But Mavs camp is underway, man.
Headline: Corella: Cato was our Jalen Hardy.
But y'all, in case you didn't see it on our YouTube channel, y'all, KG, you were able to interview Dennis Smith Jr. Y'all got Cooper Flagg and Mark. I know that you've got some more surprises for the diehards and our viewers and listeners over the next couple days as well. But I want to talk about yesterday's practice first. Anthony Davis debuting the goggles. Not as Kareem-y as I wanted them to be. These are a little sleeker.
Not as Rex-specky, yeah.
A little more like glasses. They just kind of look pretty normal. I was hoping for something more ostentatious, but
didn't I say the other day that I was told that these were glasses, Oakley style glasses? They're more than Oakley style. They are Oakleys. They are actually Oakleys.
Wow. Okay.
I think I zoomed in. I thought I saw the Oakley logo.
Hopefully AD is put some extra money in his pockets for wearing those, or maybe he's just a really nice guy. But I mean, it's important. He's going to be wearing those for the rest of his career. But you know, I know that you guys weren't like in the gym while they were doing actual practice, but you did get in there eventually to see them shoot around and stuff. How did he look? How's he moving? What's his mindset like and all those things?
Go ahead, Stein.
Well, interestingly, by the time we were let in, the goggles were off. The goggles were packed away. So when the Mavs posted those pictures last night of AD, that was the first time that anyone here in Vancouver in the media got to see those goggles as well. So, look, I think we heard from AD himself at the podium at Media Day. He's not thrilled about having to wear them. This was a topic during his time with the Lakers as well. There have been people in his life urging him to wear goggles. He always resisted it. It's not an option anymore. It is mandatory. You know, Kevin Gray asked the question, and he said, for the rest of the career. And the career he was speaking about is his career. So he's got to wear these. He's got to get used to them. But, I know the pictures caused some consternation because obviously I think it's fair to say AD is not probably where he would like to be physically with the opener 21 days away. It's October 1st, right? So 21 days away.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in fairness to him, we have to remember he said it himself. For 4 or 5 weeks, he couldn't do anything. I mean, this injury was sustained in April, and the surgery, discovering it as a detached retina, didn't apparently happen until June or July. We were never given an exact surgery date. So, this was, I think this was kind of sprung on everybody, and he's, for the first 4 or 5 weeks after surgery, he couldn't do anything physically. So he's got some work to do. There's no way around it. There's no question about that.
Well, and KG, that is not exactly music to Mavs fans' ears because, of course, every offseason from 2018 until about 7 months ago was just like, let's look and see what Luka's body looks like. And now AD had to be pretty inactive for a little while there. And so, are you concerned at all that playing himself back into shape could actually lead to other stuff, or is it kind of a nothing burger?
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see a little bit online folks concerned about what he was officially listed at in terms of his weight at 270 coming into camp, which, to Mark's point, the idea is like he was off his feet literally for almost a month and a half. So it's going to take time for conditioning and to get his body back into the kind of shape that he'll need to be in before we get ready for regular season basketball here in a few weeks. So I'm not necessarily concerned about it. I don't think conditioning has ever been a question with Anthony Davis. It's more so the injuries in and of themselves happening during the season that gives everyone pause about what the long-term future looks like now that he's into his early 30s and he's had the significant injury history that he's had in his career. So I don't think conditioning's ever been a problem for him. I think he'll be in the shape that he needs to be by the time we get to the regular season. But obviously this is a concern when it comes to the day-to-day managing of this eye injury and how he goes about it to ensure that he's not only available, but he's doing what he can to be able to be the best version of himself once regular season games start here.
Mark, I want to ask
Bobby.
this.
I know you're. I want to ask you actually first because I know you're steering the ship, and so you're in the host. You're in Kevin's seat today because you're the only one who's actually in studio. The rest of us, Cato included, we've all left you and fled. But I really want to know your reaction. Yeah, get the Fresh Prince meme out of Bobby Carella looking around the office, and there's no
one else is even in the office. Like, it's literally just me and Tanner here. It is so. Oh, Kat just got here.
Well, then you have Tanner and Kat, so you're doing way better than
all my best
than the
friends
Fresh
are
Prince
here.
of Bel-Air. What was your reaction when you saw the pictures of AD? You are the least. I don't want to say that. That's not nice. You are the diehardiest Mav fan of it.
The least objective
among
is that
all
what you
of
were going to
us.
say?
No, I wasn't going to say least objective. I was going to say the least measured.
Okay.
What was
that's
your
better.
reaction when you saw the photos?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he's able to play basketball. We had a couple people in our chat over the summer say that either they experienced eye injuries or they know people that have experienced eye injuries, and they were very, very serious. There's people that reply to tweets from other Mavs media saying like, I experienced that injury when I was younger and I've never been able to play sports after that. And so, first off, shout out to modern medicine. Like, the fact that Kyrie and Jason Tatum are even able to like get up and move around and do stuff, like, it is just unbelievable how quickly these guys are able to recover from things now. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little concerned about having to basically sit on your butt for a month. I mean, the NBA season is really long and it's really tough. And the Mavs start in like 3 weeks, and so I'm not like skeptical of AD's willingness to get in shape, or I'm not gonna like do any of that stuff. But like, just physically, it's really, really hard to move around at that size, at that height, with that much weight. Like, it's just really tough. And so hopefully he drops it pretty quickly. I'm sure he will. Running around does it, And one thing that stood out to me, and this is what I was gonna ask you, Mark, is Locked On had a couple interviews with guys on media day. Daniel Gafford went on with them and told them that the coaching staff actually asked him to lose weight, lose about 10 pounds. I think is 10 or 15 pounds. I don't remember, but his weight is actually down. And so I wonder if they want the Mavs bigs. You know, I know they have these like hulking, long, like big dudes in the middle. But if they want them to maybe slim down so that they can run. Yesterday's show, Tim and I were just talking about how they want to get up and down the floor. And so I wonder if AD ultimately wants to be even lighter than he has been previously in his career. And if so, that could take a while.
Yeah, look, in AD's case, I think it's a two-sided coin here. I mean, on one hand, if you guys remember, when I reported about the mini camp in Newport Beach, that was right after Labor Day. I don't think I reported it till the following week. But so we're talking early September. AD couldn't do anything on court at that mini camp. All he could do was make the drive over from LA, hang out with the guys. He took the guys out to dinner, but early September, he couldn't even play. So on September 20th, when I reported that he was actually in pickup games, I was really encouraged by that. Like, I was surprised that quickly after not being able to play, that a good 10 days before the first practice, he was already playing 5-on-5. Now, you have to say 5-on-5 in the gym, even with the whole team in September, is not the same as training camp intensity. Training camp is super intense because remember, the Mavs are not doing 2-a-days. They're only doing one practice a day. So it's one long, hard practice every day. And you've got the players like your Dennis Smiths, your Jeremiah Robinson Earls, the guys who don't have a spot on the roster who are playing as hard as they can because they're trying to change minds and make the front office say, wait a minute, we need to keep this guy. We need to find roster room for him. So the level of intensity in training camp scrimmages is way higher than it is in a September pickup game. So I think there does have to be a level of caution applied. And again, you know, do the Mavs, are they doing cartwheels that AD clearly needs to slim down some? I wouldn't think so. But the fact that he is already on the floor in those goggles, you know, he jokingly called them the Horace Grants and the Kareems, but they're really not. You know, the modern goggles are clearly a sleeker version. But just the fact that he's able to do anything, I think, is a positive. And I'd find that pretty promising that he's already doing stuff.
And I think the concern for some fans will be the idea as he gets himself back into shape, gets into preseason play, into regular season, monitoring what potential soft tissue injuries could come as a result of having to work himself back into shape and hopefully not having to overcompensate to get himself there and then potentially injuring, having an injury earlier on in the season. So I think he'll be fine. I think these next few weeks will give him the chance to get himself into the condition that he needs to be so that by the time they step on the floor, for night one, that he won't be too far away from, prime AD condition that he needs to be in order to perform. The question will be, Tanner, get ready. If he's healthy, then, we expect him to be on the floor quite a bit. I didn't hear it. Where? Come on, Tanner.
Oh, he's
where's the bell?
He's searching everywhere for a bell.
Oh, he can't.
Oh my God,
find
this
it.
is so sad.
Wow. Oh.
Someone stole the bell. Cato stole the bell before he left for the national office.
On his way out the door, he said, here's what I think of you guys. Wow, this
National
is actually really
Tim
sad.
swiped the bell.
All right, well, Tanner, don't go too far because we do have to hit a break. Oh, this
and
is
no,
so sad.
Gakagen, I have not
All
found.
right, well,
tried
if you
details,
if
and I
you
don't
know where
if
to
I
find a
will.
bell, I'll give you our address and you can mail it to us. Coming up right after this on the DLLS Mavs podcast. First, this episode is brought to you by Nasser Jewelers in Rockwall. Shout out to George, longtime supporter of the show and a big Mavs fan. If you need something custom or if you're shopping for diamond jewelry, then go to Nasser Jewelers in Rockwall. Mention DLLS and you can get 20% off custom orders or diamond jewelry plus a free jewelry cleaning. There's the bell. Oh my gosh. Kat, you saved the day. If you go to Nasser Jewelers' IG page, they post pics and vids of everything they got in their collection, and they got some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Rings, watches. If you're a big watch guy, like Dirk Nowitzki's a big watch dude, well, Dirk should get out to Nasser Jewelers. They got all sorts of shapes and sizes, colors made with different gems, different materials. It is beautiful, beautiful stuff. So definitely check that out before you get out there, or just go to the showroom and say, hey, what you got? I'm here to window shop. I'm here to actually spend some money. And again, like I said, if you mention DLLS, you can get 20% off custom orders or diamond jewelry, plus a free jewelry cleaning. That's Nasser Jewelers in Rockwall. Tell George that DLLS Mavs sent you. Thank you also to our sponsor, Boostier Development, an ultra-luxury home builder of modern villas inspired by the Mediterranean lifestyle. Boostier Development is an ultra-luxury home builder specializing in modern villas inspired by that Mediterranean lifestyle. They offer a fully integrated turnkey experience, providing in-house architectural design, interior design, engineering, and construction services. Whether custom or specs, they create villas that bring the feeling of resort-style living to our clients, blending elegance and comfort in every detail. And like we said before, it's really hard to get both of those things. It's hard to look good and feel good, but they can do it at Boostier. From concept to completion, our villas are designed to reflect the unique vision of each homeowner, delivering an exceptional living experience that feels both luxurious and inviting. If you, Mark Stein, are ready to experience your villa living, visit boostierdev.com. That's BUISIERDEV.com, and tell them DLLS sent you. Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs podcast. It is a Wednesday miracle. We got a bell. Go ahead and hit that one more time,
Tanner.
Just
Tanner,
in case
put
anyone...
it on it. Tanner, put it on a t-shirt. I want a villa. Also, I want to say something real quick. I want to talk about Kyrie Irving, but before that, I just got to say, Nasser Jewelers. Of course, I start coughing as soon as I try to talk. Boostier Development. Not gonna happen. Man, I'm a mess. I gotta say, Kevin Gray. You guys talk, and I'll recover.
All right.
What do you
love
think? What do you think Stein was going to say,
we love
KG?
Nasser Jewelers of Rockwall. That's what he wanted to say. Mark just wants to embrace villa living so much that he's just choked up about it. That's all. He wants to embrace villa living that badly. That's all.
These are emotional times.
Cannot shake this cough. The thing I wanted to say was a really heartfelt thank you to our sponsors for getting us here, but also a heartfelt thank you to Kevin Gray, who did all of this work. And I have to say, Bobby Carella, I am not the easiest traveler. I am very demanding, exacting, have been known to register a complaint at the front desk on occasion.
No,
Kevin Gray got us hooked up at the Hilton downtown Vancouver. They're taking...
Oh, no.
Oh,
He
no.
got frozen in time.
Mark has been silenced. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you're back. I don't know.
He's
Maybe
frozen.
Oh no, you're here.
Oh,
you're
not
here
anymore.
now. They heard. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, turning the phone is not going to get you better internet.
No, because I literally got a notification that I've exceeded some sort of data regulations in Canada.
Oh,
so
you got cut off. You got cut off.
At least you're not doing a live show via the internet while you're up there.
Yeah, so you know what?
That's
I'm
hilarious.
actually Tanner, take me off screen a second so I can adjust. You guys, I'll be in a second.
This
All right, thank you, Mark.
I do want to say though, real quick. Yes, thank you to the Hilton Vancouver downtown for their hospitality. Shout out to Jeff Rolich, who has been working with us to get all this taken care of. So shout out to Hilton for the stay here in downtown Vancouver.
We have a chatter named Tim Cato saying, "I leave for one day and Mark freezes." So KG is active in the chat whenever he's on vacation. Tim Cato is active in the chat after he just quits. All right.
That's right.
Tim says, I'm too good for y'all. I'm going national, but you know what? I'm still going to jump in the chat every now and then just to say
Love
what's
you, Cato.
up. Shout out to you, Tim. I hope you're enjoying your I hope you're enjoying your living room.
That's right, Shahid. Big Villa got him. That's right.
Yeah, Big Villa. Big Villa came and kidnapped Mark Stein. All right, so KG, yesterday you talked with Dennis. Now,
yeah,
Dennis Smith Jr., the Mavs re-signed him. It's awesome. He's awesome. But he's on the kind of contract that is more likely to be converted to, essentially he's going to be released and then be able to play for the Texas Legends, the Mavs G League affiliate, unless he plays well enough to sign on with another team. It's unlikely based on the current money situation and contract situation, that he will end up on the Mavs, 15-man roster. But from your vantage point, in that video, it seemed like Dennis has a really positive mindset about this whole thing.
And that's what I loved about our conversation, is that you could tell the energy is palpable for him. He's about to be 30 here not too long from now. And for him to have the Mavericks uniform on at this stage in his career, it's kind of a full circle moment, like, again, for him. Obviously being drafted to the team brought him back, and now he's back again as he tries to continue his NBA career. So the biggest takeaway I had from talking with DSJ was there's a real energy with this team. There's a fresh feeling with this group. Obviously, Cooper Flagg kind of helps a little bit with that. But you could tell, watching and observing after practice, speaking with a few of the guys, there's a real good energy. I mean, Daniel Gaffer said it during, his press conference, on Media Day. One of the reasons why he signed back here and wanted to re-up with the Mavericks, because he felt like the energy is good here. It feels like the team is moving forward even after the wake of, that one trade that happened back on February 1st. So, DSJ is great. He's going to work his tail off. He has said that one of the things he wants to do is to get the respect of his teammates, get the respect of the coaching staff, get himself in position to make some noise. And Jason Kidd said it after practice yesterday, that Dennis Smith Jr. was great. He loved his energy. He loved his compete. They had 5-on-5-on-5, and he was one of his standouts from day one. So DSJ off to a good start as he continues to try to continue his NBA career and hopes to do it, obviously, in a Dallas Mavericks uniform. Like you said, a long way to go for him to do that given their situation. But he was very, very upbeat yesterday for sure.
He can do things that other players on the roster simply can't, from an athletic standpoint, defensive standpoint. I mean, he definitely has NBA skills, and he's got some skills that could complement players that are on this roster. Mark is back, and it feels like the buzzing is reduced a little bit. There's still some kind of feedback coming. We're working on it. Tanner's working on it. Mark is working on it. Is it fixed? Well, there's still some feedback. Mark, I think your speakers might just be up a little too much. But you said you wanted to talk about Kyrie as well. Do you have any Dennis takes, or do you want to get right to the recovering All-Star?
No, I think Kevin covered Dennis pretty well. I mean, look, when we were let in yesterday, practice was over. So all we got to see were post-practice shooting drills. But Kyrie Irving, I know Jason Kidd was up there at the podium on Media Day urging everyone to refrain from saying ahead of schedule and temper expectations. But Kyrie Irving makes that very difficult, because he is 2 days shy. October 3rd will be 7 months since he tore his ACL. So it's not even 7 months. And the man moves better than I have at any point in my life with perfectly functioning ACLs. I mean, he is moving. Again, now he's not exploding. It's, it's mostly catch and shoots, but he did it. He was the last guy there yesterday with Phil Handy. And, when he separates from Phil Handy to get his shots up, he's not moving at full speed. And, he's kind of easing into it. But, I mean, I saw him running a little bit. Again, he just moves. He's moving very gracefully for a guy who had, his surgery was at the end of March. So it's it's been less than 6 months since the man had surgery on his knee. And he just, I don't know that we walked in there thinking we were going to see Kyrie Irving right there with Caleb Martin in the corner 3 drill. I wasn't expecting that.
Was Kyrie making them?
You say that.
Yes, of course he was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Of course he was.
The funny part about you saying that, Stein, is that as I was, we were watching there, trying to capture some images, some video, it didn't dawn on me that Kyrie Irving wasn't supposed to be there. As I'm sitting there, filming and, looking at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is normal. But then as you recall it, yeah, wasn't expecting to see Kyrie necessarily, working out with the guys in Vancouver. But it didn't dawn on me sitting there as I was watching, oh, yeah, this is normal. Kyrie's here with the team. But going back to Media Day, Jason Kidd has said that obviously everyone except Kyrie Irving is cleared to practice. So he's obviously not practicing full on as he continues to recover. But just seeing him out there with his guys, shooting, working out with Phil Handy, I think that's something really good for the team camaraderie to see him there, because he is their emotional leader. He is the leader of this team. And if he can be out there working his tail off to get back as quick as he can, that puts the onus on everyone else to follow his lead, to do everything that they can to not only perform, but to be at their best, once Kyrie does eventually come back. So I think from that standpoint, I think it's pretty important that he is actually here, doing what he can.
I have to say, I think Klay Thompson has made it clear that he is going to be taking on a larger leadership role this season as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Klay clearly wants to be one of this team's leaders. Like, it's year 2 in Dallas now. It is sunk in that he is no longer in Golden State. And obviously he was the driving force behind the mini camp in Newport Beach in early September. And like, he wants to be a leadership presence as well. But yeah, I mean, look, the Mavs went, as teams do now, when they flew to Vancouver, the Mavericks tweeted pictures of all the guys getting on the plane. That's standard operating procedure in the NBA in 2025. Everybody does it. And there was a picture of Kyrie, and I thought, oh, cool, Kyrie will be in Vancouver to be part of everything. We don't know when he's going to play, but he'll be involved in all the camp activities. And there he was in full practice regalia, getting shots up, last guy off the floor. It was impossible not to be impressed by that.
Mark, can you one thing that Klay has also said is that he just can't stop watching the 2011 finals run, kind of like me. He's just like addicted to that core memory. Now, one other similarity, one parallel between that year and now, obviously that stuff happened in June. This is only, it's October. Pay your rent, by the way. But when Caron Butler goes down early in that season and is pretty much ruled out for the year, but spends the entire rest of the season rehabbing, working, attacking it, practicing, like getting way ahead of schedule to try and come back. And the Mavs kept being like, man, he might be able to come back for the next round. Like, it's possible. It was said at the time that had this sort of uplifting effect on his teammates and on kind of like the mood and the attitude of that team. And Kyrie, I think, obviously has even more sort of gravitas and this awe-inspiring effect on others around him. Like, do you think that, kind of like what KG was saying, like that it is this sort of inspirational thing? Like, do you think that there's some validity to that in the way that we've seen elsewhere throughout history?
No question, because I think the young players especially really, really look up to Kyrie Irving. And it's something that probably we underestimated when the Mavs made this trade. When the Mavs got Kyrie Irving, I don't know that he was given proper credit for the respect he generates from teammates and rivals, opponents. And so there's no question. Like I said, it was, again, we're probably overemphasizing it because it is the most notable thing that we saw. We didn't get to see any of the scrimmages. Like I said, when the doors were open to the media, AD didn't even have the goggles on anymore. So we missed the live, the full speed basketball part of it. We didn't get to see any of that. But of what we saw, 21 guys going through post-practice shooting, I mean, Kyrie Irving had every camera in the gym was on him. I mean, it was mesmerizing to watch him. Again, the speed and fluidity with which he was moving 6 months after an ACL surgery. I would like to think at some point in my life I could have moved like that a little bit, and I doubt it. And it's just, the guy's a marvel. We know that. And that's why we talk so much about, is he coming back in January, February? Like, when he comes back is such a big deal because, he said it the other day. He thought he was playing top 15 level at the time of his injury. And it's not just getting him back on the floor, it's how long it's going to take for him to get back to being one of the 15 best basketball players in the league, because the Mavs need that guy. They need AD and Kyrie Irving in top form if this team's going to do anything in the playoffs. That is just the reality.
He was top 15, and he wasn't 15, and he might not have been 14 or 13 either. That dude was playing some of the best basketball that I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not exaggerating. All right, coming up after this, we're going to have even more from Vancouver, some more observations from Stein, more observations from KG, right after this on the DLLS Mavs podcast. But first, making good decisions is something that we should all try and do on Prize Picks, though. Making good decisions can put money in your pocket, like what I did the other day. Micah Parsons gets a 0-yard sack. No questions asked. I think it's great. I took home a whole lot of cash on Prize Picks, and I did it with money that they paid me to use. And I'll tell you how you can do that as well later. But what you do on Prize Picks, you take between 2 and 6 players. You pick whether you're going to produce more or less than their projected stat line. It could be touchdowns, yards, catches, rushing attempts, completions, interceptions, sacks like Micah Parsons, literally anything. And if you get all of your picks right, boom, you are a quadrillionaire. And right now, you can download the Prize Picks app today and use code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DLLS to get $50 in free lineups after you pay your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. And if you want to go see these games live, whether you're a college football fan, pro football fan, hey, it's preseason now in both the NHL and the NBA. You want to go catch a game, especially in a road gym that you've never been to before, or a road arena where they got 80,000 seats or whatever. You have no idea what the sightlines are like. Well, on game time, you are going to get exactly what you want, and you're going to know exactly what you're paying before you do it. But they're all in pricing. You know upfront what it's going to cost. There's no hidden fees or surprises on the checkout screen. You can also see the entire view from your seat before you choose it. So, like, I don't know the difference between section 111 and 114. Well, boom, game time will show you. You can even pan around a little bit. You have a really good idea of what you're getting. And with their zone deals, you can say, I want to sit in this area, and it will give you the best deal. You don't even got to go hunting for it. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DLLS for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. Tanner, what time is it? Tanner.
Game time.
Oh,
Other
oh, thank you. You got to know that's coming, man. You got to be able to bark on cue. All right, it's the DLLS Mavs
Game
podcast.
time.
It's Bobby, it's KG, it's Mark Stein, it's Tanner. Kat came in, saved the day with the bell. We're all there. You go. So what's going on, man? What else do we got from Vancouver? What other secrets can you share?
Well, it's interesting that you brought up Klay Thompson and his infatuation with the 2011 championship video and trying to lean on Mavs history. The coolest thing I saw yesterday in the gym, absolute coolest thing I saw on day one. And look, I have always been a massive Klay Thompson fan. He played his high school ball in Orange County, California. That's where I spent my formative years after we moved from the Buffalo area. It is not known as an NBA hotbed. Klay Thompson is by far the best NBA player to ever emerge from the area, which is why I usually call him the OC GOAT when I see him. But I caught up with him for a couple minutes after practice, and he reached into his backpack, and he pulled out the Great Nowitzki.
Oh,
Thomas Pletzinger's book,
dude,
translated
hell yes.
to English about Dirk. And Klay is a historian. And like, he started telling me about how much he's been reading. I mean, he was quoting stuff in the book.
Dude.
And I just, like I said, you know, I'm a nostalgist. I'm a historian. I love that Klay is like, I'm going to learn everything I can about Mavs history. We got to embrace that. We got to get back to that. Like, you don't see that often in the NBA. And I really thought that was cool.
Oh my God, I love to hear that, man. That is a great book that if you are a Mavs fan or a Dirk fan, doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you need to read it. Thomas Pletzinger is, first off, a great writer. Like, it's a very well-written book, but also it is beautiful, informative, educational. It is an incredible read. God, dude, I'm such a Klay fan.
Yeah, you're
I'm
like
just such a Klay
you're
fan.
like me. You're like me. You're moved by this.
I'm
It is very moving.
Smiling.
It is like he's basically saying like we've got to, and that was one of the things last year. After the trade and all the stuff was taken out of the cabinet, like, no, man, embrace the history. It's like why we get excited when Rowe was in the office. Like, there's a lot of history with this team. This team's almost 50 years old. But those past chapters need to be learned and passed down. And it's I loved it. Yeah, like I said, I thought it was a great. But I wasn't surprised. That's Klay is a sports fanatic, so it really didn't surprise me. It was just a nice surprise.
KG, have you read it?
I have not. I have not read it, but it sounds like I need to, obviously. I will say, to kind of piggyback, but not quite when it comes to Klay. For all inquiring minds, you know what I'm talking about. For all inquiring minds, Klay and I are good. We're good. So if you don't know, now you know. But Klay and I, we're good. Had a nice chat. All is good in the hood with Klay Thompson. And just for those who were wondering if they had questions,
he's in great spirits. Like he is ready to go. And the Mavs need a big season from him. I mean, we've said it a zillion times. He is far and away the most accomplished shooter this team has on a team that is not exactly teeming in accomplished shooters. So
we got a little more coming up on Dirk in our last segment, but for the rest of this one, for those who don't know the layout of this week for Mavs training camp in Vancouver, they're about to practice today. They're off tomorrow. They practice again Friday, and then they come home. And actually, it's kind of go time. Like, they got a game on like Monday or Tuesday or something.
Monday,
yeah, Monday in Fort Worth.
Jeez Louise.
You know what that means? Hopefully by then I will have stopped coughing, so I can be as happy as Klay that we finally have a night show Monday night.
Post game shows are back.
Post game, as it should be, as it was
Stein
written.
is excited.
These noon tip offs are really getting under Mark's. Yeah, getting under.
He's
skin.
not feeling the tooth. No, not at all.
Yeah, no, they're literally driving him into poor health.
Yeah,
what are we looking for today?
Reason.
With them being off tomorrow, what's kind of on the agenda for today?
Today they will have a very long afternoon practice. Starts at 4:30 local time, so I think they'll go till at least 6:37. And then tomorrow they are off, which means, I still think guys will go to the gym and shoot at some point, but that's a bonding day. And then
play
one
laser
more
tag or something, or what are they going to do tomorrow?
I mean, I don't know the off-court agenda. I have to admit, I don't have that.
Okay.
But then Friday
they do have some options.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to do here.
They can go gondola riding. They could go see the top of the Vancouver skyline. They can do all kinds of stuff around here.
Top Shot headquarters are out there.
There you go.
And all I can say is we have a couple really cool surprises that I think are going to happen. I don't want to say more because I don't want to jinx them. But one, maybe even two really cool surprises en route from DLLS Mavs.
Wait a minute.
National Tim's former home.
Yeah, I was going to say. Is the surprise that Tim is also up there? Are y'all hanging out without me?
I haven't heard from Tim since the second he became National Tim. I haven't gotten a text from the guy. Like,
he's too big for us. For us.
Oh no, he's in the chat. He's still a fan.
He was in the chat earlier though.
He loved the text. Acted.
Yeah, no, yeah. He had a text with a heart, or was it a thumbs up?
It was a heart.
Okay, all right.
No,
that's huge.
big.
Yeah, that's
okay.
huge. Yeah, if you were just faking
well,
it,
he knows, but he knows that I don't know how to read the chat when I'm on the road, so that he should have known that I would not have seen that message.
Kevin,
and no Shaheed.
what's on your mind for today? Or I like that's the thing, right? Because y'all aren't actually seeing. Can you paint us a picture? Stein kind of alluded to it, but what you actually see whenever you're at camp. Not to like complain about it or whatever, but it's not the whole picture. But what are you curious about as the Mavs?
We see a press room with a lot of fellow Dallas media members, more than I expected made the trip. We do see that.
We do see that. Of course, they're practicing at Simon Fraser University, and for them, it's a way to kind of get away from it all. They obviously are working out late today, but I'm interested to see what we find out. Obviously, we talked to Cooper Flagg yesterday after his first practice. Cooper Flagg was very excited to get ready for the preseason. He talked about the incredible opportunity to play with Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson, working out with them. Talking about Klay earlier, he mentioned how he was, he grew up watching, those Warriors runs, and now he's a teammate of Klay Thompson. So if you want to continue to feel old, Mark Stein, that is what Cooper Flagg was thinking about with respect to the way that he grew up watching the game, and now he gets to, work and play.
He was 8 years old when the Warriors won their first title.
I just thought of another story that will tug at the Corellustrators' hearts. I thought of another story that will tug at the Corellustrators' heartstrings. Also, yesterday after practice, it's like back to school. It's our first time being around the team all together since April. So you're seeing a bunch of people you haven't seen for a long time. But Popeye Jones is part of this coaching staff now, and I had a very, very nice reunion with Popeye Jones, just one of the most beautiful people that have ever played for the Mavs. Everyone loves Popeye Jones, and he is absolutely giddy to be back with this organization now as a coach on Jason Kidd's bench. Of course, he played with Jason Kidd in his Mavericks stint, and Popeye Jones was a very popular player, and yeah, it was just great to see him. And look, it's an all new bench, but there's a lot of firepower on this bench. Frank Vogel and Jay Triano are both former head coaches in this league. So Jason Kidd has two former head coaches at his side. And, Kay Gray wasn't watching any of that because he was just studying everything that Phil Handy was telling Kyrie Irving.
What is the atmosphere like? So, every coaching staff, every coach kind of has their own sort of like personality and attitude and everything. And, going back to last year's team and over the previous few years, Jared Dudley, very vocal guy. And the Mavs have had, obviously God isn't going to be big booming voice, but like guys are going to flock to him and he's going to make them laugh and then get them to work. What is like the attitude of the coaching staff and the player dev staff so far as you can tell?
Well, I think Jay Triano had a lot of work to do yesterday. I mean, his voice was definitely heard, and he was definitely kind of running things because he's not only Canadian. Jay Triano played at Simon Fraser University, and he was drafted into the NBA when the NBA draft had many, many rounds. Maybe you could help me and look up, being the trusty BK ref legend that you are. I want to say Jay was a 6th or 7th round pick, I think by the Lakers, but now I'm totally... I just don't trust my memory, but Jay
8th
was
round 1981 LA Lakers.
Look at that. So I was close. Wow. So yeah, 8 round, the draft was 8, 9, 10 rounds back then. So Jay was good enough to get drafted in the NBA, but he did not make the NBA as a player. But so, just that was another one just to sit with him for a minute and say, man, you played here. What did you think your ceiling was when you were playing here? I'm guessing it was not head coach of 2 NBA teams, coaching Canada in the Olympics, coaching Steve Nash, and then ending up in Dallas as basically the head of the traveling party for a Mavs training camp at Simon Fraser University. A lot of stuff in Jay's life has happened that he probably was not expecting.
And the rest of what you could see from us as far as, day 2 is concerned, they obviously have practice later into the evening. We'll have a full practice training camp report as well. As you saw when we talked to Dennis Smith Jr. and others, We'll be, attempting to talk to players and coaches as well. So we'll still have a lot of coverage from, practice today, even with it being a later start time. Also, Mike Curtis of the Dallas Morning News, he's going to be on. We're going to talk together today, so you can look for that as well. So we got a lot of stuff coming from a coverage standpoint from all angles here in Vancouver with respect to.
Hey, Bobby, though, there was one bit of bad news yesterday. We thought we were going to be speaking with the one and only Najee Marshall, and so many things were happening at once that he eluded our grasp yet again. So we were on the verge of a one-on-one with Najee, but let's see. The week is still young. Let's see. Let's see if we can pull it off. It's one of the many things we're one of the many things we're efforting. But yeah, I do have to admit that did elude us yesterday.
I'm trying really hard to make myself cry right now. I think it's like kind of working.
Don't do that.
I'm
You're
trying, dude.
right now.
You started off this segment in tears of joy because of the Klay story.
Right.
This is really emotional right now. Okay.
Yeah,
Did
I have
you
one
really
question.
make yourself cry? Did you really do that?
I kind of did. I'm not gonna lie.
You sound
But
like
you
you
were
did.
close.
Like, what is
You were closer than Tim was yesterday.
Oh yeah,
It
I was
like-
way closer than Tim.
Hey,
Fake
I-
ass
Wow.
tears.
I have a question.
Tim has been trying to get away from us for so long. He was not crying at all.
It's been his contract for a year. We've all heard it.
That's right.
Tanner, you got to rack that one. Put that in. Put that
I have
in
one
the file.
question. Has Cooper Flagg called either of you Unc yet? Has he been calling people Unc?
Ooh, yeah. Is he like scared of you guys because you're not 21?
Cooper
If he
Flagg
saw
did
my
his
song-
first scrum. Yes, he did his first scrum yesterday. I think he was focused on the scrum questions. There was no Unc jocularity in that scrum, based on what I could tell.
No. If he saw my salt and pepper, though, he might call me Unc, just on the sheer fact of my my salt and pepper I got going on. But no,
Really?
no Unc.
I mean, all you have
No,
to do
Unc,
is
man.
be like older than like.
Let me give
10
it. Let
and you're
me
Unc.
give a shout out to a real Unc. My man Dwayne Price was here as well.
Oh, let's
That's a
go.
real Unc right there. That's a
Do you
real
realize
Unc right there.
Dwayne Price? I made him tell this story in front of young Christian Clark. Dwayne Price covered his first professional basketball game in the 70s, a Spurs ABA game. So Dwayne Price covered a professional basketball game nearly 20 years before I covered my first. So shout out to Dwayne Price. That
Dwayne
is
is the best.
the man is still
Love
here
Dwayne.
covering the Dallas Mavericks. It's awesome.
Smooth as ever.
But
Smooth as ever.
Think about that, man. The man covered his first game in the 70s, the ABA.
Love that guy. All right, coming up after this, we're going to hit on a super chat that we just got, and also the guys in Vancouver are going to go even more international. I can't even count the number of time zones away that we're going to travel to right after this on the DLLS Mavs podcast. First, I want to tell you guys how to become a diehard. We're growing fast. We're approaching, as DLLS Sports, nearly 2,000 diehards as a network. We're pushing... I forget. I saw the number earlier today. It was a very large number. So we are we got to catch up to that. But we are growing nationally every single day, and you can join the movement, support what we're doing here at DLS Sports by becoming a diehard. We got a couple different options right now. We got one where you become a diehard and you get a free shirt. That's $36 for a year, averages out to about $3 a month, which essentially covers just the cost of the shirt. You're getting everything else for free. It's great. Or you can become a diehard and get a free hat, courtesy of our pals over at Branded Bills. That is $59 for a year. You get the hat, and also you get access to all of the things that I'm about to tell you. You get to read the entire website. That includes stories written by folks on the beats here at DLLS, but also Tim Cato, national guy now. He just wrote an article that's on our website. There's also some NFL stuff that's coming out from Fran Duffy, our friend over at PHLY, and more throughout the network. You also get to join the DLS Diehard Discord. Great place to hang out with fellow diehards. Great vibes in there. You get a discount on merch. You get a discount on live events, and we're always dropping new shirts, including this one that we just came out with. Boom, that beautiful Rookie of the Year, Paige Becker's inspired Dallas Wing shirt. We got the DLS Wings Emergency podcast last night, talking about Chris Koklanis not coming back to the team next year. They're going to launch a coaching search here soon, and we're going to have you covered there on the DLLS Wings podcast, me and Erica Day and Ali Jawad and Kevin Gray and Dorothy Gentry. And, man, we got the whole squad here. You also get your physical diehard card, and you just become generally a more well-informed, interesting, and attractive person. So if you really want to wow people with your knowledge and with your generally increased riz, then become a diehard. Scan the QR code. Head to alldls.com/diehard today. All right, it's the home stretch here. It's the last 10 minutes of the show. I want to touch on the super that we just got from K-Town. Thank you, K-Town, dropping the 5 Buckaroo super chat. I've been looking for this info. Who is the head athletic trainer? What's the sitch, guys?
The team has not made a formal announcement. I think I know the answer, but I would really want to confirm it and make sure that I'm absolutely correct before I say it. So I'm not ducking the super chat, but I haven't had a chance. I've heard it. I've heard how they're handling it, but I need to make absolutely sure before I report it, because I do not want to get aggregated and then find out that I was errant in my reporting somehow. So I promise that I will get that answer for you officially, but I think I will be able to answer that question before we leave Vancouver. How about that? To my knowledge, the most major newcomer, as I reported
during
in
summer
July.
Yep.
You know, they hired a former Bulls strength coach from Chicago to replace Keith Belton as the head strength coach. But like I said, I just want to make sure my info is buttoned up completely before I answer that one.
Appreciate the super chat.
So you did duck the question. That's fine, Mark. That's fine.
No,
I
I'm
was
just
joking.
being.
wow.
I'm being honest. I don't want to report something that I haven't verified, but I will effort to do so.
Okay. So I don't know if it was yesterday or today.
I hope whoever the head trainer is has some secret suggestions to help me stop coughing.
I said that with emphasis. Emphasis. Can we get that as a drop?
God,
Tanner? Can we
dude.
get that as a drop? No.
Don't
Drink
drop
some
it.
hot tea, right? Isn't that a thing? Throw some honey in hot water.
Maybe Mark Followell and Coop have some secret tricks of the trade.
I bet they do. I bet they do. Okay, so let's jump to the other side of the, what do you call it? The meridian, the prime meridian. All right, the 0 degrees longitude, baby.
Brain.
We're going all the way to Europe. We're going all the way to, I believe, Würzburg. Am I mistaken?
Very. I wish there were two of me, because as much as Vancouver is one of my favorite cities in North America. I always love visiting Canada. After a trip to England, while I'm dealing with the pain of no longer being in England, it is great to be in Canada, because there are always echoes and hints of Great Britain that I find when I visit Canada that are helping me miss it a little bit less. But I wish there were two of me, because today in Würzburg, Germany, Dirk Nowitzki's hometown, the Mavericks dedicated some courts in Dirk City. You see the way they've been remade in Dirk's honor. Really cool. Mavericks CEO Rick Welts was there representing the organization. Dirk spoke. Dirk's parents were there. Last night, there was a big dinner with Dirk and Scooter Tomlin and all kinds of visiting dignitaries at Backofalo, which is my favorite restaurant in Würzburg. Just, oh man, they were talking about the food, and I was so jealous. So, obviously, I think those images and seeing Dirk with Rick Welts at a big event in Dirk's hometown, Dirk's parents there, I'm sure that will hearten Mavs fans who have been wondering, you know, we get, Dirk gets the question, we get the question, what is his status with the relationship? What is his relationship with the organization? And I think that there's an indication right there.
I'm looking at this restaurant's menu right now, and I might have to hop on a plane.
Backofele. Backofele.
Yeah, this stuff
so
looks
good.
So good. Oh
so
my
good.
God.
So do you want a Dirk story?
Yeah, I do. I want 1,000.
So the first time I'm in Würzburg, I convince, Dirk's driving me around in his, God, was it a Volkswagen Golf? White Volkswagen Golf, I think it was. And it was like, hey man, let's pick a restaurant and you and I can just hang out and talk. Dirk ate at that point in his life, he's like 19. He ate every meal at home. He did not have a favorite restaurant. And we drove around aimlessly for half an hour, I think. And then finally he remembered that Backofalo was the restaurant where Holger set up to entertain the Nellies and Ross Perot Jr. when they went to Germany for the first time after the Mavs drafted Dirk to convince him, hey, you can't spend another year in Europe, man. We need you now. So we ended up going, we finally ended up going there, but it's not because Dirk loved it. At that point in his life, like he would just like, he only wanted to eat at the kitchen of Helga Snowitzki, his mom Helga. And so I forced him to, I said, I need a restaurant, man. I need something. And like I said, I've only been there 2 or 3 times in my life, but I love that place.
Like it's like the one restaurant that he knew of.
Yeah, it was young Dirk. That's almost 25 years ago. No, almost 30 years ago.
Well, Mom must have been
1998.
cooking up some magical stuff in there because he grew to be 7 feet and probably the coolest person of all time.
They had a family house, so it's like Dirk had his own story. His parents lived on another story. His grandmother lived on another story. So basically, Dirk lived. I think he lived in whichever story was his. But then, when it was time to eat, just went to Mom's kitchen.
And shout out to the Mavs organization for doing this for Dirk. Obviously, this is their 4th one of these in terms of international courts that they've renovated and dedicated. So obviously, there's been a lot of conversation over the last couple of years, about the relationship between Dirk and the organization and, where things stand. This is obviously a really good sign in the direction of positivity between him and the organization. He's going to be talking about this team a lot this year, obviously, as in his new Amazon Prime role covering and talking about the NBA. So we're going to be seeing and hearing a lot from Dirk this year. So to have this moment prior to the season, knowing the kind of anticipation we saw, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, him meeting Cooper Flagg, at his Tennis Foundation Classic for the very first time. Vibes seem to be moving. It's an uptick in the vibe with Dirk in the organization, and that's always a good thing. He's their greatest and most accomplished player, in this franchise's history. And Dirk is synonymous with this franchise, and it needs to be that way until the end of time. So I'm glad that we're seeing these things happen because, Dirk is he's that dude. He's that dude and that deserves all of it.
Yeah, and like K-Town mentioned in the chat, and I think a couple other people had mentioned it as well, but Mike Palucci's article about Dirk came out in D Magazine today.
Mm-hmm.
I believe physical copies have already been available for a while. I might go try and snag me one, but I'm looking forward to reading it. I believe you can read it online. KG's nodding his head, so...
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, that's the part where I should use my voice. Yes, you can. You can read that online. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to do that this afternoon, and maybe we'll touch on some of that stuff on tomorrow's show. But
last thing for me before I have to go, I actually have to get moving because KG and I have a secret mission that we need to proceed to very soon.
Oh yeah.
But I apologize to chat. I'm really hoping that I'll be able to get through a show without coughing soon. It has not happened yet this week, but it is my hope.
No, you're good, Mark. We're all battling through it. We all got our various maladies. Weather's about to change here in Dallas, so I'm gonna be joining you very soon.
Love you guys. Love being in Vancouver. Thank you again to Nazar Jewelers, Boostier Development, the Hilton Vancouver downtown. KG and I are having a great time. And the fun has only just begun. We're gonna finish with a flourish.
Friggin-lutely. So the Mavs again practice later today, here in a few hours, or maybe a little more than that. I'm not too sure about the time zone, but the way you can stay in the loop on all this stuff is to follow DLLS_Mavs on the Bird, DLLS_sports on IG, Kevin Gray Sports, and the Stein line over on Twitter as well. They will have videos, pictures, quotes, everything flooding your timeline throughout this afternoon into this evening. And maybe they're going to record some stuff too that will debut right here on this channel. So sub
is National Tim still in the chat?
I haven't seen National Tim in a while. No,
they'd be gone.
he's
for
probably
a
eating
I like
lunch.
this new nickname,
Figures.
National Tim.
National Tim.
National Tim.
National Tim. So go follow those guys. Follow
GM
our-
Ben, National Tim, Super Kevin Gray, the Corellustrator. Those are the
Stein line,
nicknames.
and producer Tanner. I don't know. We kind of mailed it in with producer Tanner.
No, Tanner.
That's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Tanner.
That's
Tanner
what
is like
is.
Tanner is like a Brazilian soccer star. You just say Tanner, and everybody knows.
It's like
That's
his
right.
name.
Everybody
yeah.
knows who that is.
He's like
That's
like
a great point.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
just
that.
Tanner.
I love
just
that.
Tanner.
I love that.
All right, yeah. Follow all those accounts. Sub to the channel. We're going to be bringing you all sorts of coverage, both this afternoon, this evening, and throughout the rest of this entire week from these guys in Vancouver. And we will also be back with you tomorrow, same time, same place, with more insights and analysis from training camp and who knows what else. Till then, he is Kevin. He is Mark. He is Tanner. I'm Bobby. Y'all are awesome, and we'll see you tomorrow on the DLLS Mavs podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.